Hey Hugs, just a reminder before you get into the show that we have merchandise, yes, and you can find it on our Ugly Truth website. There's a little tab, you can click on it, and then you can peruse to see all of our styles. You can grab a mug or a sticker. We have hoodies and t-shirts, pretty much anything you would want to show your pride for being an Ugly Truth listener. Thank you so much for supporting us. Enjoy the show. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 534. Hug! Hug!
Oh, I guess it was my turn.
Air horn!
My voice is a little hoarse.
Speaking of air horns, I finally caved and bought an air fryer.
Oh, I hate you. I want one so bad. I want a pressure cooker, too.
I'm afraid of pressure cookers.
Why?
What if they explode and kill everybody? They're like little bombs. I don't know. I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to use it properly, and I won't lock it right, and the lid will blow off.
Well, I watched Valerie Bertinelli make carnitas in 30 minutes yesterday with a little home pressure cooker. And she's like, I love this thing. And she showed us she was pushing the buttons, and I'm like, I want one of those.
I am not a big fan of gadgets.
Yeah,
but
I'm not either, actually.
But I have been thinking about this air fryer for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But they were super popular for a minute, and then everybody went with the whole Instapot thing, which is basically a crock pot.
Right.
I don't like those.
I don't want one either.
And by the way, for the record, and I know there's always exceptions to the rule, I don't know one man who loves crock pot food. It all turns out the same color. It's the same consistency.
I think I have like 2 things I make in my crock pot.
Most men, like chili and stuff is different.
Well, 3 if you count chili. Yeah.
Ultimately, chicken comes out gray.
No, I don't do chicken.
Pork comes out gray. Meat,
I do
beef.
Pulled pork, like barbecue pulled pork, where you literally pour
a whole thing of barbecue in it,
sauce, and then shred it. Mm-hmm. Jerry will eat that for days. The problem is that it literally makes like 5 pounds. It's so much.
Oh yeah,
you could never eat it all. And then I make beef stew, which I love. Okay. Because I use big, thick root potatoes. You know, I do love that. Right?
Well, anyway, I realize that, like I said, there's always exceptions. But for the most part, I don't know too many men who will eat a lot of crock pot foods.
Agreed.
Because it's all the same.
That's
true. This is like gruel. Why are we eating this? Right?
It's like Little House on the Prairie food.
Constantly. Anyway.
I would have killed for a crock pot.
Air fryer, I was like, no, I'm not buying into it. But here's the thing.
I want to know if they work.
They do.
Like something crispy.
Yes.
Chicken.
So I made, I did bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers.
Oh, yeah.
That was my very first thing I made.
Do you stuff them or you just wrap the bacon?
I stuffed them with a cream cheese and onion and a little apple, by the way. Oh, God, yum. It cuts down on the spicy, but the spicy is still there, and it's super yummy. And then I wrap them in bacon. Bacon was super crispy. Everything was cooked through, melty, delicious.
Yum.
I did giant stuffed portobello mushrooms.
Oh, my God, yum.
And it had...
those are my favorite.
Tomatoes and basil and burrata cheese and a little bit of... and panko crumbs on top. With Parmesan, brown and crispy, cooked all the way through, 12 fucking minutes.
Oh my God.
It was so good.
You're like, I love this thing.
The only reason that I actually decided to cave and buy it was because of this heat wave we'd had.
Yeah,
I can't cook anything.
It's been miserable.
And so using the oven is like, why would you, it's suicide. Why would you do that?
It's true.
You know, your poor air conditioner. And I'm like, well, the air fryer is just enough. It's perfect. We can at least make something to eat, and we don't have to do takeout or eat salads. I'm so sick of eating salads.
Right.
Because we had been eating so many because it was 115.
It was.
So I bought it, and I'm like, I'm sold. Last night I said, that's it. I love it. I love the air fryer. I can't believe it, but I love it. And I got like a 5-quart, which is a bigger one.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it when we're done.
Absolutely. I will show it to you. And it does fries and tots.
Yeah, well, because I have a little, so.
Yes, it's perfect.
Littles eat all that stuff, like little baby frozen pizzas.
We did sweet potato fries, and they came out perfect.
Oh my God, I'm in love already.
Yeah,
all right.
You'll love it. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you about that.
Did you order it?
Amazon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was just about to say.
It was on sale.
Amazon.
And
Daryl can have one tomorrow.
Daryl loves it because the one that was on sale has Wi-Fi. So like last night I put the mushrooms in.
He's so into all that.
Oh my God, he's so techie. And so I put the mushrooms in. I was just sitting there. I was looking at TikTok or whatever. And
he's like, mushrooms are almost ready.
The alarm went off saying, hey, the timer went off. And then he looks at me. He goes, hey, the app just told me the mushrooms are cooked. And I was like, okay, great. I heard.
Love.
Yeah, he loves it. He's like, I can see
you know
the
what? It
temp.
gets me in my house when my oven timer goes off to let me know that whatever I have in the oven is beep, beep, it's beeping. No one actually rises to go in and like turn it off or take it out. It's just like, Mom! Did you know the timer was going
helping.
Right?
Thank you.
I mean, it'll go off for 12 minutes. It's like, beep, beep. No one does anything. They just sit there and listen to it.
I was actually a little intimidated when I first got it. I'm like poking it with a stick going, oh, I don't know. And then I bought a coffee grinder because when we went to Hawaii earlier this year, they had this really cool, coffee bar downstairs. Yeah. And so Daryl would go downstairs early in the morning and buy pour-overs. Pour over coffee, and it was peaberry. It was so delicious, and so we had that every morning.
Yeah,
and then
like we have to have this at home.
First of all, Daryl loves getting up early, and he absolutely loved going because everything's open, so the ocean is there, the sun is rising, and it was like his alone time. It was perfect. He loved it.
I'm so grateful, but my husband is exactly the opposite.
Call room service.
Yeah. No, so it's me who has to get up.
You go down, but it's so beautiful.
I actually don't love it. I would prefer that my husband brought me, dripped coffee or whatever.
Right.
So, and that I could just be alone in the room for a few minutes.
So we love the coffee flavor so much that he's like, before we leave, I'm going to see if they sell it.
Yeah.
So he went downstairs, and of
course they do.
He came back with this big, huge, probably 3 pounds,
whole beans.
2 or 3 pounds of whole bean pea berry.
Yum.
And he goes, when he was downstairs, he texted me, he goes, this is quite expensive. And I'm like, oh, well, is it too expensive? Don't buy it. And he goes, no, I'm going to buy it because we really liked it.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. So he comes upstairs, and I go, well, how much is expensive? Now, I'll pay $15 for a big 2 pound.
Yeah, I'm thinking $40.
Right. I go, how much was it? He goes, it was $75. I'm like, and you bought it? Why?
You're staying at the Four Seasons, for Christ's sake.
Like, why would you buy that? I'm like, this is the Four Seasons. You don't buy that. We don't want retail at the Four Seasons. He's like, I wanted it. I'm like, all right, you know what? Whatever. I would never buy that. It's food. I'm not buying it.
But you know what? It's part of the experience.
He loved it. So then we got home and we looked it up and we joined their email to see, because they'll ship it anywhere.
It's like, was it half price?
No, it was the same.
Oh, okay, good.
There is no retail. It's like, this is how much it costs.
What it is. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, okay.
And that would make me feel better.
Yes. And of course it was the premium though. Like they have cheaper coffee beans.
Yeah.
This is the one that is like hand-picked
in
the wilds of Kauai.
So are you drinking it like often?
Every day.
Oh, you're like, we're not saving
But we had to buy the coffee grinder.
Yeah, I have one. I have a Starbucks one.
So I bought a fancy one. I'll show it to you when we go downstairs. I bought it, and Daryl was like, this is the most beautiful coffee grinder I've ever seen. And I go, I know, it's a Cuisinart. I love it. So he's having so much fun, and he goes, I just ground the coffee. I literally grind it as I need it. And I'm like, I know, that's why I bought this one. Too, it's really great. And he's like, you can't even hear it. It's so quiet. Because, Mom had that one.
She had like the Hamilton whatever, like I just was saying, mine's the Starbucks, it's the barista brand, their brand.
Yeah.
It's heavy, it's stainless steel, it's quiet. I love it.
Nice.
I've had it for 10 years and it works perfect.
Well, Mom gave me hers.
Oh.
I lost it. I don't know where it's at now.
Well.
I probably gave it to a child. Or it broke finally.
Or something,
yeah.
Who
But
knows?
anyway, I'm on the gadget train. I'm not buying any more gadgets, but I definitely am not hating my life. Like, I love it. I love the air fryer.
I told you about the last 2 gadgets I got for Christmas.
You got a gadget for Christmas?
Well, so Jerry's trying really hard to not be as insensitive as he's been often throughout our marriage.
Yes.
And so he realized that he had really never bought me like a gift, like that something I didn't want, or So he bought me. He knew that I had been wanting a food processor.
Oh yeah,
and I had also I had never had one. Yeah, I bought one for Lauren, and I didn't have my own. So
they're so great.
I know, right? And I wanted one, and then I also really wanted a waffle iron, and because Jeff loves them, and they're easy to make.
Yes,
the batter's so easy. So he got me like a 12-cup food processor.
Nice.
No, not nice. It's huge. Find its own separate cabinet for it. I'm like, Christ almighty, I'm not cooking for an army.
It's like, this is the Porsche size.
He's like, well, it was the, and I'm like,
you want to get the nicest one.
It was the best one.
Right,
yes.
Right.
And then same thing with the freaking waffle iron. He got
it's like an
double-sided.
It's like, what are we
Belgian waffle Cuisinart.
It's like, what are we at the hotel? And we're going to be providing.
God, I was like,
providing continental breakfast for everyone.
And what do you say to the man who has previously been so insensitive not to buy you anything?
Say thank you.
And then, right? So I'm not going to be like, you idiot, you got the wrong ones. No.
Daryl does that too. He finally got over buying me technology because he just loves technology so much that I must love it too.
For himself, right.
So he used to buy me, like, I got my iPad once, I got, whatever. And then one year he really fucked up because he relied on our dear sister Paula to
no!
help pick out a purse.
Oh my God.
So Paula...
Was it a bird? He got me this bird purse.
He got me a hot pink leather, what was it, a hot
Coach?
Pink Coach.
Because Paula loves Coach.
Beach bag. And I pull it out, and it's bright hot pink. And I open it, he's all, do you like it? I'm all, oh, wow, it's really pink. And he's like, you hate it. And I'm like, no, I appreciate it. He goes, if you don't like it, we can return it. And I mean, immediately. And I'm like,
knew.
And I've got my fist, like, no, it's not. And my voice
Your high voice, you're like,
no, it's fine. He's like, well, I just thought because, we're always at the pool and you need a nice bag for swim and da-da-da. I'm like, sure, thank you, whatever. So after all the kids left, because they're just like, Mom, do you love it? I'm like, I love it. Thank you guys, because they're all around and I don't want to be ungrateful.
Absolutely.
And I'm not. I'm always grateful when I get a gift.
Of course.
So I said, Coach, huh? And he goes, yeah. I go, who helped you pick this out? Because I know it wasn't you. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, you did not pick this bag out. I go, what woman helped you with this? And I was already like,
oh, yeah.
And I go, what woman at your work?
Occur to you as one of your sisters?
In fact, I think I might have even said, what whore at your job told you that this is what I would want? And he's like, well, Paula helped me pick it out. I'm like, my sister? I'm like, what? He goes, well, yeah, I
that explains so much.
And I said, okay, first of all, she is a whore for Coach. Like, she loves Coach. And it didn't even occur to me that you would...
that would have immediately been a flag for me. I'm like, This is Coach. You've been talking to Paula.
Or something. And so he goes, you know what? I go, I don't hate Coach, but I don't do Coach. You either love it or you don't.
Well, I mean, it's a style.
It is.
And it's not mine.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Paula loves it. She loves Dooney and Burke.
She does.
I know. I don't hate Dooney and Burke either, actually.
Well, I like Dooney and Burke. Okay.
First of all,
obviously I do. I have two.
Well, they're gorgeous bags.
Mine don't look like they're...
Right.
Coach, to me, all looks the same.
They do, and it's fine, but it's just not my style. But I know Coach is a very popular.
But I also wouldn't buy 10 Dooney and Burks. You know what I mean?
And they're classic. But this is not classic. This was a hot pink beach bag, and I
bought Lauren a Juicy Couture one like that for Florida.
Oh, I like Juicy.
But I mean, she's 20.
I also love Juicy, and I don't care what anybody says. I love Juicy velour sweats, and I would wear them forever if I could. I just love them.
She loved the bag.
They're so great. Anyway,
but she lives in Florida.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
So it's appropriate.
Yeah. So we actually went back. He's like, well, we can take it back and we can get you something else. And I said, well, unfortunately, if we're going with designer bags, this Coach bag will not nearly pay for what I want.
It'll be like a quarter of...
He goes, really? And I go, well, yeah. I go, if we're going to go really high end...
Well, if you really want to know what I want, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. And I go, at the time, there was a Louis Vuitton I really wanted.
Oh. I would love a Louis.
Some of them were really pretty, Yeah,
I love all Louis.
I do not.
They kind of had their own look too.
They do have their own look, but at the time it was called the Papillon, and it was a really beautiful style. Now, of course, it's vintage; you can't find it. They only make so many, and then that's the end of it. So, of course, to go to Louis Vuitton where we were, you have to go through security.
Yeah,
it's a whole
San Francisco,
thing.
You can't go into Tiffany. You can't go into Chanel. You have to
go through, and it's like that anywhere, really. So we returned the bag, and he goes, "Well, is there anything here you want?" And I'm like, "No."
Were we at Macy's?
No. It was actually a Coach shop,
a Coach store. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he goes, "Well, is there anything you want here?" I'm like, "No, I don't even need to look." And he's like, "Okay, fine." So he got his refund, and we went on our merry way. And I think I ended up getting a. I don't remember. I got some kind of wallet or something instead. I don't remember because there was no way we were getting.
Well, what's your dream bag? Do you have one?
Well,
I immediately know what mine is. I mean, you don't have to know the style.
I don't mean Birkin. I mean, everybody wants
the
Birkin.
And I don't even like those much. They're kind of right.
They look like book bags to me.
Same. I like they're square and they're...
I know that they're an investment and
they're
all
10
that
grand.
Stuff.
I know.
Oh, minimally. Yeah, minimum. You know what? I love Dior bags.
I want Chanel.
Well, Coco Chanel bags are beautiful. My sister-in-law has several. She has so many. And she's like, no, these are investment. I pass these on to my children. I'm like, oh, 100%. I mean, they're beautiful.
They are. Yeah, I mean,
beautiful collection.
Even the vintage ones are...
Yes.
They're even more.
I've looked at vintage Chanel. I mean, they're really beautiful. But I personally really love Dior.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
A lot. And then I also really like Celine, which is another French brand. They are also expensive, but they're gorgeous.
Well, that's given. I mean, any of these bags we're talking about are
they're
crazy,
stunning.
right?
They're stunning. So,
I'm not into the Hermes, Birkin thing.
Yeah, Birkin bags are, I mean, I wouldn't turn one down, but I also wouldn't know what to do with it.
I wouldn't turn one down.
But the thing about Birkins, from what I understand, is they never depreciate.
Right.
And they only appreciate. So it is an investment, but then why would you use it? I don't know. It's such a weird thing. I don't want anything so precious that I can't use it.
I agree.
That's the problem.
Totally.
To me.
Yeah, well, she used it. She took it to the party.
Clothes, even.
You couldn't set it down, though. And I mean, it's like...
someone will snag it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody who knows anything will be like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to borrow this for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, God, it would fit inside your Birkin bag.
Just put it in my pocket. Oh, wait, women don't have pockets. That's probably why we have purses. Everything should have pockets. I think every wedding dress should have a pocket. Personally?
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. You can hide it in all that stuff.
Every romper should have pockets. Everything should have pockets.
We are pocket advocates.
We are pocket poor. They don't ever give us pockets.
I know.
I don't know.
And men don't even carry anything and they have pockets. They have a little wallet and some change.
They wear those hideous cargo shorts that have 4 pockets on them.
What do you need so many damn pockets for? You don't even have stuff. We have all the stuff. We carry everything.
The one thing I was so grateful for is I got Daryl out of cargo shorts and Tevas. I just couldn't wait to get him out.
I had to have a really honest conversation about feet with Jerry the other day.
Oh, really?
He kept trying to wear his flip-flops outside of the home. Now, I've let him do it to take Jeff to school because he doesn't actually get out of the car.
Okay.
And it's early.
Is it because his feet aren't pretty?
He's a guy. Are anyone's feet pretty?
No, but I mean, slides are cool.
Whose?
Slides. Don't you? Daryl wears slides out. They're okay.
I guess there's a difference to me in my mind between slides and actual flip-flops.
I will say that I have not worn flip-flops anywhere since at the beach. I only wear them at the beach.
Well, I mean, but girl flip-flops are different. Mine have diamonds on them, like sparklies.
Yeah.
You know?
They're decorative.
They're cute, yeah. And I get pedicures.
Also, guys are really hard on shoes that aren't dress shoes.
It's not
so
rational,
they always
Jamie.
look a little...
I mean, we're sitting here trying to rationalize my thought
process. If he wears Crocs, then we can talk.
No, he wouldn't. First of all, he doesn't put anything on his body that I haven't purchased.
Thank you.
Including these flip-flops that I forbade him. Yes, when we went to Santa Cruz. No, I spent like $80 on them. They're expensive. They're nice. Fancy. Yeah, they're like Billabong or whatever.
But you don't want him to wear them out in public?
So he was like going to wear them with jeans and to go do something. I'm like, oh, you're going to wear your flip-flops? And he's like, well, why? He's like, it's 100 degrees outside. And I'm like, well, because your feet are disgusting. He's like,
you said that?
Pretty much.
You're so mean.
And he's like, they are. I go, well, not just your feet. I go, it's not. I go, it's not your feet that are disgusting. I'm like, look around. The next time you go to the grocery store, look at a guy's feet that has open-toe shoes, and tell me what you think. He's like, I'm like, they're hairy. You guys never do your toenails right.
You know what, Stephanie? If I never see another filthy toenail off of a random man, I mean,
I can't.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
So I was like, I'm just letting you know that when
I see that, I go, you're married and someone lets them do stuff to you?
Yeah, but have you ever seen the couples that are walking together in the store and you're both like, okay, that is a lot right there.
I can't look.
Like, but then I think to myself, you know what? They are probably happy, and she probably didn't tell her husband that his feet were disgusting this morning as he was leaving to go to the grocery store.
Well, she should have. That's all I'm saying. Choices have been made. Okay.
So poor Jerry, he looks so deflated when I'm saying this to him because I was dead serious.
Well, he's only just like, this is all new information to me. I did not realize that I was disgusting.
But I don't know why it's new. He's been with me forever. I'm like, oh my God, you know what I think it is?
Here's the thing, the difference. Because I say those same things, but I say it differently.
I might have used the word disgusting. I might have said something else.
I say it differently. I say I'm revolted by all of them.
Yeah, I did say that.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. And I hate that I will look down at Daryl's and go, well, I mean, it's not the worst I've ever seen.
Right.
You know, it's fine.
And Jerry's aren't either. Right. First of all, he's not like a hairy person.
And they're clean.
Yes, his are clean.
You know what? I don't want to talk about feet anymore.
I think, you know what, honestly,
I don't want to talk about it.
I think it was like 2 days before I started my period because now I'm thinking, like, this was recently, and I just don't even recognize the amount of bitch that I am until it's over, and I'm like looking back and I'm like, God, oh my God. I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, God, I am just venomous this week. I'm like,
I know. Oh.
I told Jeff to wipe his own butt and he started crying, and I'm like, figure it out! I left the room.
He's old enough.
No, he is. But, you know, so I left him in there. I came back to check on him a few minutes later. I go in there. There's toilet paper everywhere.
He doesn't know how to wipe his ass.
He does. But he's crying, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, I'm such an asshole. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. He was having a problem.
Get him the wipes.
I should have.
Yeah, those will help. I have dude wipes. You can take some with you.
Oh my God.
We had to buy those when we were going through
anyway,
a colonoscopy.
I felt like a total asshole. Oh God. I know.
Stephanie, they're the worst.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. You say that now. At the time we were talking, we were like, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
But now when I look back, and
maybe I'll get a colonoscopy.
You should get one when you're older, but still, it was not ideal.
You and I are 2 years apart. You just had one. So what's the difference?
I don't know. You're right.
24 months from now, I can finally get one.
2 years from now, I'll be like, drink it! Shit your brains out! And be sick! The nurse goes, do you know how many people cancel their colonoscopies because they think they've gotten ill? And I'm like, there has to be a better way.
There's no other way.
Why do we do this? And she's like, I know. She goes, but it's just you have chills because you have diarrhea and you're dehydrated. I'm like, this is horrible. There has to be another way.
Can't they just go in there with like you know how the thing they use in your mouth when you're going to the dentist and it squirts water? They squirt and suck. Do that.
Disgusting.
Stick it up your butt, squirt the water, and then suck it out. Why do we have to do it this way?
You know, people pay a lot of money in LA to have that done.
What are they
for
called?
Weight loss?
Colon cleanses?
Enema, colon cleanse, enema, coffee enemas.
Yeah, they've done it on Real Housewives where they freaking went on there and filmed it.
I'm not doing that, ever.
I'm like, that's
disgusting.
So disgusting.
Oh, I got a facial the other day.
Does it work?
I got a facial the other day. It's called the Hydrofacial. And basically they use water and suction and they pull.
Yeah, you told me you were going to do this.
I did it. And the girl goes, do you wear a lot of makeup? And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, there's just a lot of like makeup coming off when I'm cleaning. Well, actual makeup, like foundation was coming off. And I came in with what I thought was a clean face. And I said, you know what? Okay, here's the problem with this place that I go to. Every time I go, the day before, something significant had occurred. Like, I drank too much wine, or I had on excessive makeup, or something. So they always go, wow, you have a lot of inflammation. I'm like, well, that's because I'm hungover. And I hate to tell you, because every time I come here for some
normally
reason,
that doesn't happen, but it did today.
Yes, normally I haven't had water in 2 days. And so I'm I look like a raisin right now. So anyway, so I'm getting the Hydrofacial.
I've been neglecting myself.
And she's like, okay, I am so not into the whole spa scene, like, you know, facials and massages and all that stuff. I'm just not into it. I'm a control freak. I don't want to let go and let people touch me. Now, you've obviously done very well. You're doing the nail pedicure thing.
Oh, yeah, that's different, though.
That's helped you.
But it did take me 25 years to get a pedicure.
Right. And so we walk in and she's like, welcome, come in. And, you know, she's like a size 0 and she's tiny and beautiful, and which is great. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. You don't want some big fat slug doing it.
I would really rather not.
Right?
So I mean,
wow, does this work for you?
Well, not like that, but I mean, the force coming from a large hand might not be what I want. So I like that she's dainty, and so she goes, "Come in, lay down." She goes, "Take off your shoes." I'm like, "Why?"
No.
And she's like, "Why?" I go, why would I do that? She goes, well, you know, so you can be comfortable. And they have this huge down comforter. You can get under and get all snoodly. And then, you know, it's nice and dark. And they play beautiful music. Like, cool, like, Stevie Nicks and stuff was playing. Okay. And I said, you know what? I go,
I'm not removing my shoes ever.
And I go, do I have to do that? And she goes, well, no, I just want you to be as comfortable as you want. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe next time. But this time I'm just going to get up here. And I go, and I don't want covers.
I know.
And she's like,
when you said there was a down cover, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. And I was like,
is it clean? Do we know?
Pristine. And I was like, I don't.
If I saw a hair on it, I would die.
So I'm like, I feel bad because I'm wearing like my, you know, Converse and you know whatever. And I said, well, I hope you didn't think I was going to, and now I'm leaving my shoes on and everything's white. And she's like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we do the whole thing, and then halfway through she's like, do you wear a lot of makeup? And I said, yeah, but I did yesterday. I really scrubbed, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you can never get
you can't get it all out. And she's like, oh, okay. And I started laughing, and she goes, what? And I said, well, it's kind of like when you go to the dentist and they go, do you floss twice a day?
Right.
And they go, yes, of course I did. They go, well, it's clear you flossed today, but did you floss yesterday?
Do you floss every day?
And it's like, the hygienists know how good your dental hygiene is.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter how much you've brushed in the last 24 hours, they know that your gums are raw because you've been flossing for 2 days straight.
Right.
But before that,
you weren't flossing at all.
So she started laughing. She goes, that's so funny because it's absolutely true. We can totally tell when they're like, are you doing your skin regimen? And they go, oh, yeah, absolutely. We're like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
no,
right.
You're not. And so I said, but it's cool. You know, I said, I've never done this before, so I have no idea.
Right.
And I have to relearn everything because my skin is different. So she showed me, and this is what brought it up. She showed me the water that they use. It's a canister to show you how much dirt and skin comes off of your face. And so she goes, well, I'm going to show you now, because she's like, you should see some of the canisters that I've seen. I'm like, oh, okay. So
I wouldn't.
So she goes, okay, so this was your canister, and she shows it to me. Not as bad as I expected.
Let's see, was it filthy?
It looked like watery foundation color.
Okay.
So there was no black or weirdness. God. And she goes, it's a lot of dead skin and makeup. I go, is that bad? I go, if that's bad to you, that's fine, but that's not as bad as I expected.
Yeah.
Really. And she goes, no, that's true. And she's like, no, it's not like gross. And I said, but she's like, but that was a lot that came off of your face that looked
Thank you for letting me know for $180.
Basically.
Shut the fuck up.
I have a question. Are you supposed to tip them?
This is new for me, so I don't know.
Idea.
I'm wondering.
It has literally been keeping me up at night.
Because Googled it.
I was going to, but the thing is when you leave, there's nowhere to leave gratuity. They just tell you how much it is, you pay, and you walk out. There's no, like, would you like to add gratuity? There's nothing. And so I'm like, well, is it just part of the...
Is it known, or is it built in? I'm thinking for that amount of money. Yeah, I'm thinking for that amount of money. I mean, I've never tipped a medical professional for anything.
Well, she's an esthetician, but it is a service.
It is a cosmetic service.
And I do tip
I do tip my nail lady.
And I do tip my hairdresser.
And I tip my nail.
So I don't know. And I'm like, it's literally been bothering me. And I'm almost afraid to Google it because I don't want to know that, like, absolutely you're supposed to tip your esthetician. And now
maybe you could call another esthetician place and be like an anonymous
If you're an esthetician and you hear this, tell me.
Please. They're probably like, yes, you asshole. So you've been going and you haven't been tipping her? God, you cheap bitch. Yeah. Well,
I've only had one, so I didn't know. But my reasoning was, well, I don't tip the RN that gives me the Botox.
Right.
So I don't know.
Saying.
Am I supposed to?
Well, I mean, the prices are so... I mean, I don't know.
I'm just so confused by the whole... This is a whole new level of...
It is a whole new world.
Yeah, it's a whole new level of self-care that I don't know how to operate in, so I feel really awkward.
Right.
And so I don't
we don't know
what to
enough
do.
rich people to, like,
and
ask
I really
someone.
feel awkward when I'm there, too, because...
You'll get used to it.
I hope
you
so.
You belong.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You do.
Anyway, okay, so we've had a lot of backyard adventures this month.
I noticed. You guys have been quite busy being domestic. It's very weird.
Last time you and I talked, how you saw the fence, and you're like, that's quite an accomplishment for two people to do on our own.
It looks really good.
It is really good.
It's got a spring on it. It opens and closes on its own, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like, so it's like,
yes.
No, it just,
everything.
It's got the latch. It's wood.
I don't know if we talked about why that we had to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're trying to keep the rodents out, right?
Well, but no.
The dogs?
Bodega, we had a temporary gardening type of gate up, like that was just up, kind of affixing itself. And we had these stakes in the ground that kept it upright.
Right.
And we've had them for years. The dogs are obviously strong enough to get over it, but they don't because they respect
They knew it was a boundary, yeah.
So my biggest concern has always been, because we used to have a major skunk issue.
Right.
Well, Bodega killed them all.
Right.
So
everybody knows not to come here now.
Yeah, and the neighbors are grateful. And so my biggest worry has always been, if a skunk gets in on that side gate, he can't get to it, and it's just going to wreak havoc.
Right.
You know, because it's where my garden is.
He's going to try to get in, and it's going to be like crazy. It happened
2 weeks ago, it was like almost 3 weeks ago now. A skunk got in.
Oh crap!
And Bodega was not having it. He ripped the gate down. He bent the steel posts in half.
Oh my God!
Like a fucking Hulk dog.
With his mouth?
No, with his body.
With his body?
He got up and pulled the thing down.
Oh my God!
Ran in.
He does not play.
Killed the skunk.
Oh my God!
But because the skunk had a minute
to try to figure out
coming, he started to turn and tried to dig its way out of the yard again, right?
Oh.
Bodega got in. He got fully sprayed in the head, which he hasn't been sprayed in years because he's so quick.
Right.
And so he killed it.
The skunk was...
the skunk was was trying to get out. And was spraying, by the way, because he could see it coming.
Yeah.
And then Bodega got sprayed, and I woke up and heard Bodega go, like really pissed. And I have seen Bodega kill with anger before, and he killed this thing.
Was he mad because he got sprayed?
Yes. And so he killed the thing, and then Sasha was like having a field day because she's watching.
How does he kill them? Does he just one chomp and that's it?
He breaks their neck and they're dead.
And then he's done with it?
And then he's done with it. Yeah. He does not mutilate it. He does not
eat it.
He just literally breaks its neck and walks away. I appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
But
because he's never left them like crippling and dying, right?
He's never left one dead. And so, maybe one real big one once. But anyway, so we wake up. It's like 2 a.m, and Daryl's like,
I smell something.
Bodega got a skunk, because we both heard the weird bark. And I was like, holy shit. And so Daryl gets up like it's nothing, like a fireman. He gets up, he gets all of his gear. He gets all of his gear, because he has skunk gear now. He double bags the thing. God. And Bodega just stands there and watches him do it.
Oh, you little brat.
He loves it. He's so proud. And
he's like, see that, Dad? Got another one.
Yep. And then Sasha.
He was even in the fence.
You should have seen the holes that dog dug to get to the skunk. It was like 2 feet deep. So anyway, so the next morning, the after effects of all of it, so I said, we have got to build a real fence. Now, I don't want Bodega not to get to a skunk, but he could jump over this.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah, he could. It's like, what, 4 feet?
It's like 4 feet. And so...
What am I doing?
What?
I'm yawning while I'm talking. We're doing the freaking show.
I don't care. So anyway...
yeah, I'm like...
so anyway, so I said, we need to build it. So I said, this is what I want. Now, the kind of gate we have, the wiring is called hog fencing.
Yeah, it's nice.
So we went
it's like plastic coated, right?
So Daryl and we got online. We found all the materials. We double measured everything. We bought everything. We went to Home Depot. We went on the 4th of July.
Ugh. Torture.
Nobody was there.
Oh, you're kidding.
As dead could be.
Oh, good.
And so we were able to blow through there perfectly fine. Got what we wanted. We left. We go home. We start by digging post holes, because you have to get it nice and deep. We bought a post digger, everything.
God.
Get through. Now, Daryl his problem has always been confidence. Like, he doesn't think he can do anything.
Oh.
And I'm like, you can do anything.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
fine. I go, if I can do it, you can do it.
Sure.
And so I'm essentially the cheerleader. I'm not, and I hurt my shoulder.
Oh, God.
And I'll tell you how I did it. It's really
embarrassing.
Mother. No. Definitely not our mother.
Oh, God. Do I want to hear this?
So my wing is just out of commission. Like, I'm really struggling. And it's
Do you remember when I had a friend who hurt his wing and Paula said he looked like a hurt sparrow? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh.
That's hilarious.
Because he had a sling, and she's like, you look like a hurt sparrow
I probably could have had a sling initially, but essentially what happened was we were getting a little too acrobatic.
Oh, Jamie, I told you I didn't want to hear this.
And I arched back, and I put a lot of weight on my right hand.
Did you?
No, wait. It was totally fine. And then 2 days later, I go, I think I slept funny. And I'm like, that's so weird. I am, like, just now being able to function.
Okay,
and it's
lesson learned.
I know. I mean, worth it, but still. Anyway, so there's not much I can do. I can't do much. And so I'm like, I don't really have time to be injured like this, and I'm really annoyed by it.
Right.
So we built the fence, and it's beautiful. But
it is. It looks
in the meantime,
really
Sasha has decided that she, too, wants to kill.
What?
Well, she learned.
I know.
In one fell swoop.
Well, she watched the Brewster incident.
Yes.
And now...
And then she watched him kill a skunk. And she was right there by his side going, you can do it,
It's like orca whales.
So she has, for 2 days in a row now, brought us a dead mouse.
Oh, well, baby steps.
She killed it, and then she brings it, and the first one
Did she bring it in the house?
No, she's not a cat. She killed the first one. Well, she basically killed it, but it wasn't dead all the way, and Daryl had to put it out of its misery.
God, he's just, like, famous for having to do that.
Has no problem with it. He goes, well, I had to put, it was like 90% dead, but it was still alive, so I had to kill it. And then I said, well, did you praise her? He goes, yeah, I did. Okay, good. You have to praise her. And so then this morning...
We want our animals to be massacrists.
So then this morning he comes out and he goes, hey, Sasha killed another mouse. I'm like, what? I go, are you sure it's a mouse, not a rat? He goes, no, it's a mouse.
They're teeny.
He goes, she put it on her cot so we would find it. And so I come out there and I'm like, holy shit, that's a mouse. And it's little. And he goes, yeah.
Oh, God.
She's rooting for them. And then she gets him and she kills it. And I go, now I'm struggling because I'm like, I praised her hard. I'm like, you're such a good girl. And she's like, she's all celebrating.
Jake is like, amateur.
Yeah, he's like, you enjoy your mice.
Right.
He's like, I'm dealing with predators.
Right.
So
just leave the hard stuff for me. Just put your pickle on everybody's plate, college boy. Leave the hard stuff to me.
Exactly. So I said, in my mind, I'm like, is it okay that I want my dogs to kill animals?
I think so.
Like, is it okay that I like that they're predatory? Because they never touch a cat or a human, ever.
Yeah.
but anything that invades their territory, they kill. And I'm
Would they kill squirrels and stuff?
Bodega, we think, has caught one before, but there was nothing left of it.
Are they fast or something?
Well, yeah, they're very fast.
Plus, they can climb a tree like no other.
Yes, but he has tracked them. He tracks them. The only thing
they can jump from branch to branch, though, so they don't get stuck in a tree.
But if they fall,
yeah, that's true.
And they have. I've seen him do it.
So he's really only caught like one that you know of?
He has killed raccoons, possums, skunks. I've seen him corner an owl once, but he wouldn't kill it.
I'm so glad.
We didn't want him to.
God,
we love them. They're beautiful.
So bad. Yes,
and we do
owls.
have owls here, so
we
you
have
hear them. Yes, I've never seen him kill a cat. I've never seen him attack or be angry, even growl or even side eye a child.
Good.
Or a neighbor. Nothing. He hates other dogs.
Yeah.
But everything else, he's cool unless you come into his yard. And if it's
like a stranger.
No. One time, a homeless guy opened our side gate, and Bodega just ran out.
He's like, thank you!
The guy freaked out.
Because he saw this giant dog.
Standing there staring at him like a wolf. And then he ran away, and the Bodega's like, oh, cool. And he took off.
Freedom!
And he was running up and down Sunrise Boulevard.
Damn. Oh, I remember when that happened. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
Terrifying.
So now Bodega's 19-0, and Sasha is 2-0.
Well, it's only a matter of time before she moves on to bigger and better things.
I just told him, I'm like, Bodega's 12.
Well, he's clearly not lost his ability to.
He has not, but my point is he's not going to live forever.
No, I know.
So we need Sasha.
That's why the proteges.
We need her on board, man. And I said, I don't like that he had to kill it, but I'm glad because she saw.
But she's a girl, for one, so I don't think she's ever going to be as aggressive as him.
I don't know, man. Well, her little mice killings have been interesting.
Cute.
It's adorable.
Yeah. You might have to get another one after you don't have the
Hey, we like mice. Mice are sweet. We need them. No, they have the bubonic plague.
I don't
want them around me.
I feel nothing for mice or rats.
And I don't want them on my land.
I confuse mice and rats because some rats are kind of small and I didn't know the difference.
Rats.
Yeah,
rats
I've seen mice. I've seen bigger rats.
Oh God,
they're just disgusting.
Stephanie, one time we set rat traps because during the pandemic when all the restaurants were closed, rats just went out and searched for food.
Seriously, it's been a big problem.
And so we set up rat traps, and Daryl's like, he goes, the trap caught one. It caught it by its arm.
Where was it?
Way behind our shed,
in the yard,
in the back. He goes, it caught it by its arms.
Oh, crap.
Just its arms.
So it's alive.
And it was so angry that it pulled the whole trap and tried to get through the fence with it. It ultimately died.
Aww.
He's like, it was the biggest motherfucking rat I've ever seen in my life. It was like the boss rat.
Ew.
It was huge. And I said, well, this is unacceptable. And of course, Paula is just like, call pest control.
Yeah, we have one. What are
they going to do?
No, they do.
They just set the rat traps?
Well, yeah, but they have those ones that they go in.
Yes. They electrocute them. I don't like that.
I don't think it electrocutes them.
It does.
Are you sure? Now I'm going to have to look into it. It's those black boxes.
Well, I think that
they're octagon shaped.
Oh, you know what? I think they
have a little hole.
I think they poison them and they can't get out or something.
Yes, that's what I was told.
That sounds, I don't know, man. I'd rather just break their little necks and be done with it.
But you can't catch a colony of them.
So the other one, we had a little family, and so we set the traps, and I said, I want them out. We've got to kill them. And I know they're under the shed, and I know it.
Yeah.
And so
perfect place for them to live.
Yeah, so we set the traps. We caught this humongous one. And then we caught another one that was pretty big, and it was so big that it broke its neck.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it did, but it was so big that it literally barrel rolled with it because it was so large, and the dogs were trying to get to it. They're like, this is the biggest fucking rat we've ever seen. We want to kill it. So then after that, all the youngsters started to show up going, hey, where's the food?
Right? Ew.
Daryl had to kill him with a bat. I mean, it's just one after another, Stephanie. I'm not kidding. Now they're all gone. We haven't had a rat incident in months. But
once you kill them, they can't breed, and so
that's the whole point.
But we have awful.
No poop, no nothing. But we had a problem for a minute, and it was like, this is I'm not.
Like, it's funny the things that pandemic has done. I knew about that the rodent problem. I also know that in Carmichael, where I live, people are complaining about cockroaches.
They are everywhere.
And I was like, oh, we don't have that problem or whatever. Yeah. Well, I got up at 2 a.m, as I often do, to get something to drink, and I walk out into the kitchen, and
no,
we have the door that goes out to the garage from the kitchen, and I've been bitching at Jerry for months now to buy something to go, because our
seal.
When they hung it, the door, they hung it too high, so there's too big of a gap.
Oh, that's not good.
And it's supposed to have a shoe or whatever you call it, so that nothing can get in. Well, he hasn't done it. He keeps saying, I was like, I'm ordering one on Amazon. He's like, no, I'm going to Home Depot. I'm going to build it. I'm like, then do it!
And it's still not done.
So I am in the kitchen and I look over and it's just it's in the crack still, but it's in the house. It just hasn't advanced all the way, and it's just sitting there. So then I turn on the light to make sure. I'm like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And it was like, oh God, it was the most disgusting thing. I'm literally getting goosebumps.
It's weird because Daryl goes, well, I don't want to tell you, but I found a cockroach in the driveway the other day. And I'm like, that does not creep me out. But I also have not had a very serious interaction with cockroaches.
Neither have I. Never.
So I don't really know to be
anything about
concerned about them or like grossed out about them.
Well, once you see one up close, especially on your kitchen floor.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
So then I'm like, okay, I have mere seconds to figure out what I'm going to do, because if I try to do something to it, it's going to run.
Oh.
So I did.
And they don't die very quickly. They're very hardy.
From what I've been told, yeah.
Yes.
Like you said, I have never had an issue with them, so I really don't know much about them.
I just shove a towel in there.
I just well, it was too far in the house for me to do that. I was like, okay, I need to fling it into the garage. So
really? That's surprising because, I
didn't want to smash it.
Well, you've been known to light things on fire, so
I knew I wasn't going to have that option.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I approached it, it was going to be like, ooh,
It's almost got its own personality.
Well, I think it has eyes. I don't know.
They're so big. It had a name.
I know they sense movement and like vibration.
I'm getting a little nauseous.
Yeah, it was really gross. So I grabbed something and I flung it. It started to run immediately, and then of course, the minute something starts moving that's been sitting idle. Yes.
Yeah, you're screaming.
It's 2 in the morning. I fling it out. I heard it hit the garage floor.
Oh God.
I shut the door. Yeah, I shut the door and I put a towel down so it can't get back in. And Jerry comes, he's like, for the love of all things holy, like, what is going on? I'm like, it was a cockroach. I know it was. And he's like, well, did you kill it? I go, no. I go, it was like this big. It was like an inch.
God.
It was huge. I go, I flung it out to the garage. He's like, oh, great. Now he's like, they're going to be everywhere. You have to kill it. I was like, well, go on with your bad self.
Go kill it then, killer.
He was out there with the flashlight looking for it for 2 days.
Good.
And then he's sitting on the couch. This has been happening for a week ever since I told him. All of a sudden he's all... he's like got the total creeps. He keeps flicking his shoulder and he's like, was something just on me? And I'm like, it wasn't the cockroach.
That's funny. Did Paula ever tell you about this story that she screamed so loud that a bee freaked out? Okay, so she and Mom were in the car.
Oh God.
When she was like 16. And they're in the car and they have the sunroof on the Honda Accord. So the sunroof's open, the windows are down, they're clearly having a good time at the moment.
I guess.
She goes, we're just sitting there enjoying our life, and all of a sudden a bee flew into the car. And she goes, and I screamed so loud. The bee went, what the fuck? And literally was like stunned and then like flew out.
Oh my God.
It was so scary.
It was so loud.
And I was like, that is hilarious.
It must have felt the vibration of her breath.
He's like, Jesus Christ! Danger! When I see those videos of people going, I have a bee that visits me every day, and I'm like, that's nice, but I'm never... I mean, I love bees, but I don't want to hold one or touch one. That's ridiculous.
My son's been watching this guy on YouTube. He's huge. He's got millions of subscribers, but...
Is he like the bee whisperer?
He's called... No, not the bee whisperer. His name is Coyote, and...
Coyote?
Coyote something.
That?
Yeah. It's not a real name. He's a YouTuber.
Okay.
And all he does is go around the world and try to find the most painful sting or bite.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, and lets it bite him.
Yes, I've seen that.
And Jeff makes me watch these things.
So you saw the one when he got bit by a murder hornet?
Yes.
That? Yeah, that's the famous one.
Jeff's made me watch all of them, and he thinks it's so funny. He doesn't even watch the video. He watches me watching the video.
That's the funny part.
Smiling while I'm watching it.
He's like, go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, he's like,
freak out.
Exactly.
Children are diabolical.
It's so funny. But I was the most diabolical child, so I get it.
Yeah, you do.
I like to watch people taste things that were awful or smell things bad.
You know what's funny? I don't know what it is, but lately I've been telling the kids stuff that I used to do as a kid, and I think they're genuinely alarmed.
They should be.
I told them, they're like, oh, that's so mean, da da da. Because I mean, I don't know how I did it, Stephanie, but I raised a bunch of hippies. All of them.
I don't know how you did it either.
I don't know. I mean,
it shocks me.
I guess I am, and I just didn't realize. Maybe. But they are all hardcore
My
hippie
daughter,
hippies.
she beats
She's
me.
hippie
Swear, she's like the sweetest, most loving
peace and love,
person.
acceptance. I mean, they're all everything. So, and I'm proud of it, by the way.
Me too. I'm so grateful.
We weren't like that, though.
No, and still aren't. Which is why I'm like, wow,
I'm just really glad I didn't become a serial killer or something, because I could have been easily.
I know.
So I told them about the time that they said, "Oh, that's just so mean." I go, "Oh, well, your Aunt Stephanie used to put do a hairspray fire circle around spiders," and they were all stunned silent.
I know.
They're just like, "What did she do?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "She did it all the time," and then they would just like die. And Tyler's like, "That is the most horrific thing I've ever heard in my life." It is. I'm like, "Really?" I go, "Okay, well, I can top it." He goes, "What did you do?"
You can.
I go, "Well, when I was younger, I collected no less than 100 grasshoppers, and I started cutting their jumping legs off,
so they couldn't
jump,
and the wings of things."
And I said, and I would cut them off and let them free, and they literally could not even, like they were just like, "What?"
You used to take the wings off flies or anything you really caught, so it couldn't fly anymore, and it would
remember,
like hop around.
And so I did that.
We put them in spider webs and watch them get eaten.
We did do that. We did feed many spiders.
We thought it was like the circle of life.
We're like, so bad. And so then I remember I was doing it, and I had like a carpenter's knife that I was using, Dad's carpenter's knife, to do it.
It's amazing the things we had access to.
In the front yard,
You're like 8, you have a knife, you're like, look.
And this woman who Mom used to study the Bible with came over, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Oh, I'm just taking off their jumping legs." Like it was nothing. And she goes,
"Can you imagine?"
I have to tell you what she said.
It's one of God's creatures.
She goes, I can't even do it without laughing because it was so serious. Very gravely, she's like, "God sees everything that you do, and you will be punished for this." And I was like, "What?" So I dumped them all, and I killed all the ones that were
wouldn't
suffering.
Suffer?
Yes, I killed them all. I'm like, "I'm sorry, God. I'm so sorry, God."
You know what though? I'm pretty sure that Dad knew we did these things.
Oh yeah,
and he didn't stop us.
He's like, "I'm breeding serial killers."
Or say anything. I'm like, why did no one say this is strange?
I don't know. Why did we let Paul eat Alpo dog food every day? Like, why did we let her do that? I don't know.
Mom's like, if you eat another crumb of dog food. God, she was so livid. I remember her face.
Why? That is such an expensive dog food.
Is that what she said?
She said it's expensive.
I don't remember that.
It was like $5,
I just remember that Paula was her baby, and here's this adorable little blonde towhead.
It's like cereal.
She had it all over her face.
Oh, God.
She was just like,
yum. Yeah, I remember that. And I'm just like, and to this day, I remember that. And the reason that I stopped dissecting bugs was Dad bought me a microscope once, and it came with an X-Acto knife.
Oh, Jamie, God.
And I took a fly, and I cut it in half, and out of it came maggots. And Mom, I have never seen her so upset in my life. Well, I have now, but as a kid then, she's like, and so she did not throw the microscope away, but she took everything away, including the X-Acto knife. Yeah. She's like, "You can't have this,"
Who sells those to children? Not now.
Oh, God,
yeah, right?
You better believe they
never
did.
Be able to get something like that.
You could buy chemistry sets back in the day.
I know. They actually had little, I remember
little acids in there. So anyway, I'm like,
Dad always bought us shit like that. He's like, "Here, go ahead, burn the house down. Who gives a shit?"
He didn't. He did not.
Fuck.
It's like, could you just buy him a koala bear? Could you just buy him a stuffed animal? Anything.
Cabbage Patch doll,
Anything. So when that happened, I said, you know what? Maybe my time is over with bugs and doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I actually, that was literally when I stopped. I just,
I don't know. Yeah,
man.
now that you say that, like, it's a good thing we didn't. I didn't ever even thought about the fact that I enjoyed killing things.
I was just so curious.
And I can remember putting ants on my curling iron.
Stephanie.
You didn't do that? I had my curling iron, I'd get it all the way hot.
You know what?
I'd gather ants, and then I would pour them on the curling iron and watch them sizzle. Watch them burn.
No, I didn't do that, but I obviously did things equally as terrible.
Yeah, you did.
People are listening to this.
I guess I was into burning and fire, and you were more into, like, cutting things and...
People are listening to this. People are listening to this going... They're
and we're laughing
in horror.
I'm like, what?
What kind of show are we listening to?
So normal.
We've been listening to this for years.
I used to stick my my finger up my butt and then make Allison smell it. I think that's normal.
That is normal.
But, I mean, a variety of different things that I used to do.
The one thing that Paula does remember vividly is how we held her down and put bologna on her stomach and made the dog eat her off of it.
That was fun.
Yeah, she's like, that was cruel. I go, was it? You laughed?
No, she laughed.
It was funny. It was hilarious.
Well, except for she did pee her pants a few times.
But this is what happens when children are woefully unsupervised.
Right.
But I maintain that we are not unusual. I don't think anybody was very supervised in the 80s. Like, we all were able to do whatever the fuck we wanted. Yeah. I was watching something the other day, and it was a TikTok, and it was like, my mom going to sleep peacefully knowing that I'm with my friends at their parents' house having a great evening watching movies. And then the next scene is like, well, I'm in a bush at the school, have no idea how I got here. That is the 80s.
That's true. Yeah. Well, you know what? The 80s was the dawn of all kinds of things. But, I mean, people were starting to get divorced. People were like, I'm not staying in relationships and marriages for decades for what?
Women have rights.
They did. And so there was really a lot of freedom and things going on like that. But women had to work 10 times harder than a man did to make it in the world. And they had the children because the men never took the children.
They never did.
And so we got left to our own devices.
Yeah. And everybody was experimenting back in those days.
That's true.
Including our parents. And so there was a lot of... I don't regret a thing. I mean, I wish I hadn't cut off grasshopper legs, but... Yeah,
I wish I hadn't done things like that.
I mean, I don't savor it, but I mean, it is a memory, and I did do it, so it's like, I can't deny it.
We did a lot of things. We did some really fun things, too.
We did a lot of fun things, too. We did. You and I got into a lot of fun trouble. I mean,
and then when Paula and Allison were young, I mean, we
were super creative.
We tortured them quite frequently, and
I love torturing Paula.
Fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah,
she had such a temper.
Oh, she was mean from the minute she came out.
She still is mean as hell.
She is, but Paula's like she's cute but deadly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because when she came out, she was the cutest baby.
She's like those little dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
She's like,
yes. You're like, oh, come here, and all of a sudden they like cut your throat out.
And he's like, I have nothing for you. I have nothing to eat.
I know.
They're crazy. And they'll kill you.
Indeed.
Those little scampies. Okay, we're running out of time already.
Oh, wow.
Let's do some Ugly and Awkward Moments of the Week.
Okay.
These are office.
I love these.
These are the work. This is like a workplace awkward moments and I found these. This one reminds me of something I would do. Maybe you even. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I work in the main headquarters of a major corporation, which is 7 floors with almost 1,000 people in my building alone, along with 4 connected buildings. So it's a huge compound of people. I put a bag of popcorn in the break room microwave, set the time, and walked to the drinking fountain about 20 yards away. When I returned, the popcorn was charred. The smoke set off the fire alarm, and all 7 floors of the building had to evacuate into the parking lot, while several fire trucks screeched to the curb to check the building and reset the alarms.
Oh, no.
We all had to stand outside in 40-degree weather for a half an hour while I listened to dozens of people complain about the idiot who set off the alarm.
That idiot would be me.
We had just had a popcorn-related fire drill only the week before, and I'd been quite vocal about how dumb someone has to be to burn popcorn to the point that the entire complex would have to evacuate. Karma was here to seek its retribution for my arrogance. It took me 5 years before I revealed that I was the culprit. I would never tell anyone.
I don't know. Yeah.
Never.
I probably wouldn't.
No. Secrets die with me. Right. I don't tell anybody anything.
Something like that. If I thought I could get away with it and no one knew, I probably would never tell.
5 years and no one knew?
I don't do popcorn at work.
Well, I don't either. I don't eat microwave popcorn. But
I know you don't. You and Mom have a thing about it.
Hey, people that work in those factories die of lung disease because of the chemicals in there.
Probably not anymore.
And I wonder why my children are hippies.
I eat Oral Redenbacher organic. I mean,
so what? Pop it. Pop it yourself. It's easy. And it's better. It's so much better.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I should probably popper. I don't know.
That decision, but because my son loves it.
Yeah, and you know what Paula does when she comes over? She slides everybody a microwave popcorn because she knows that I won't allow it. No, she and then I'm like, who's making popcorn? And they're like, oh, Aunt Bobby gave us this microwave popcorn. I'm like, get out! Well, I let him eat it, but I'm like, what the fuck? And then I call Paula, what are you doing? She goes, you're such a savage. like popcorn. I'm like, they have popcorn. They just have organic popcorn.
They just have to make it in the stove.
Well, it's just like when you say, I'm like, well, I have tortillas. She's like, those are real tortillas. Jeff won't eat those.
What?
One time I offered you a tortilla for him to eat, and you're like, oh, well, those are real tortillas. He won't eat those.
Oh, I'm sure that's true.
That made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, my son's ridiculous.
Oh, God. Okay, here's the second one.
So high maintenance.
I was in my office with a migraine one day. Oh, my God. There's nothing worse than being at work with a migraine.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing worse. I have a hard time swallowing pills, so I usually have to take the meds in one at a time and swallow with multiple glugs of water. I didn't have water, so I was using my Diet Coke.
Ugh.
Unaware that this medication apparently will foam when exposed to something in the Coke.
Oh, great.
So I took a huge drink, and there's basically an uncontainable amount of foam in my mouth. I run over to my trash can.
Oh, God.
Just in time to see the board of directors walking by on a tour of the building.
Oh, my God, I would die.
They see me hunched over my trash can, spitting and foaming at the mouth. So very professional. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would probably happen to me.
Yes.
I have choked on spit before at like the most inopportune moments where you'll be sitting there having a perfectly smart and I'll sound like and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like
and you're trying to be like,
and you like
fine.
can't even speak. I mean, it's like really bad,
yes,
you know, the really bad kind, like with when you're swimming or something.
There's
when you do that.
nothing worse than choking on your
so
own spit.
Embarrassing.
It's so
I'm
bad.
Like, you put the finger up and you just walk to the bathroom. You're like, don't talk to me.
It's the worst.
Yeah, this
I
is
hate
humiliating.
It. I always yell at myself, God damn it, Jamie!
Oh my God. And then I'm in the bathroom and I'm in the stall coughing and all the people who are crapping and peeing next to me are like, are you okay?
You're like, I'm fine! Look, this is the quietest Stephanie's ever been.
And like, if I could get to my car fast enough, that's what I would have done. But it's 2 floors down and out in the parking lot.
No, you're going to have to go into a corner somewhere and hack to death.
Yes, and in an office building, there's just nowhere to go.
There's not.
There's literally not a private place to be.
Nope, not even the stairwell, because some fools
Nowhere!
are going,
Yes, you can't go into the supply room. There is nowhere.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
It sucks.
Office culture's so fun, isn't it? Aren't we all excited that we're all going back?
I absolutely hate it.
Yay! All right. Well, those are the awkward moments of the week.
Yeah.
Ugly and awkward moments. Okay, so I'm sure you saw this, but I want to give a special shout out to our special listener Barbara, who posted on our Facebook a couple weeks ago, that she listens to us before she goes to bed on Sunday. I don't know why you do that to yourself, but apparently you think it's amazing, and so we thank you so much for the support.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, thank you for telling us, because I absolutely love it.
God.
But I mean,
we're going to find us relaxing on a Sunday night.
All I know is when you hear this, Barbara, and you hear us cutting off legs and killing spiders,
you may change your view.
You may want to wait until after your coffee on Monday to listen.
And I assure you, we don't injure or maim anything now. I haven't done that in a long time.
I haven't either. And it's
As a matter of fact, I'm exactly the opposite. We've talked about this.
You will free a spider.
If I can.
Yeah.
I killed one in the middle of the night the other day because it was on the wall
What the fuck
next
is going
to my
on in your
head.
house? What is going on in your house?
Pandemic.
Holy shit. God.
No, honestly, I think it was because it was 112 that day or 113.
We did have some spider
Every
incidents.
creature in the planet was like, relief, please.
They needed some kind of cooling
And
mechanism.
as soon as it got dark and quiet in the house and everybody was in bed, they were like, all right, now I gotta come out. It was little, but it had to die because it was in my room.
No. I saw Daddy Longleg trucking across my floor the other day.
What are you doing?
And the cat was just sitting there, and I'm like, do your job.
Kill it.
Get it. And I picked it up.
Moving.
And you see those videos of people picking it up and showing it so that it'll eat it or whatever.
No.
And it's just like, what? And I'm like, it's there. Kill it. There's nothing to it.
My cats won't either. They're like, nah.
God, it's the worst.
They really have to be in the mood. And they're like, I'm just not feeling it today. Let it go. Let it go, man.
All right. Well, good night, Barbara. I hope you brushed your teeth.
Good night, Barbara.
We'll see you
next week.
See you next week. Bye.